Hi, and welcome to the next episode of Making Mannequin Heads into Planters! Dun 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 dun! So, as you can see, I'm working in SculptCrete. This is a direct next in line episode from the previous one. Doing a little sculpture, making a little hooked nose on this guy. I love it. It's coming together. I've got to really start working quicker with the SculptCrete. So I'm going to line the inside. I want to have it fully lined, and so I'm working it in my hand until it smooths out, and then splopping it in. And what I can do then is once I get it in, I have enough to be able to get it not only to stick to the cement that's around the edges, but also, see, look at that, blends right onto it. But also to have it a little bit heavier on the inside, since it's going to be having soil and everything, and I'm finding when they're outside that they are standing up rather well. So this is starting to set up. Gotta be careful. Work it, work it, work it, work it. There we go. I did a much larger batch than I really was planning on doing. Oh, and there it goes. I love that feeling. It starts to become just elastic. So gotta keep working quickly with this. Flatten it out, splop it in, and get it in there. Get it blended down. Lots of pressure. I'm holding it by the neck so that I am not going to ruin the sculpting that I just did on the face. I elongated the nose. I will show you in a minute. I put the nostrils on, which of course it didn't have because there's just a foam form. And I, please excuse the blower outside, leaf blower. Lee's having a blast with blowing leaves out of the yard because we now have grass. And be careful not to touch or hit the face. But I'm going to add more water to it in a minute. Yeah, there we go. Oh gosh, it's just really firming up. Yeah. Keep it going. So I elongated the nose. Eyebrows, put in the brow bones, built up the forehead a little bit with the brow bones. I really need to build up the forehead more, and I will in a minute. Flatten it out. Squidge it in your hand, flatten it out, stick it in. Because I don't want it to be sort of Neanderthal, but I do want it to be pronounced. Eyebrows, eye bones, brow bones, there they are. That's the word. And brow ridges, whatever you want to call it. Getting this in here, smudging it down. Doesn't need to be thick, but it needs to be solid. Solid as a rock, right? Not squish the face, all that work that I just did. Oh yeah, I'm running out of time. So what I'll do is I'll just use the rest of this that I have here. Oh gosh, that's getting hard to do. And then I will end the episode, and I'm going to do maybe 10 more minutes. There we go. Get it all the way down to the bottom. Make sure not to cover the holes that are in there in the throat and in the back, because you see there's the throat hole. It's kind of like tracheotomy, which is not a funny thing, but kind of gross to be working around a throat hole. There we go. Smudge, smudge, smudge. Squidge, squidge, squidge. And there. And I'm almost done with getting this thing fully lined on the inside with the SculptCrete. SculptCrete works like clay, hardens like concrete. SculptCrete. Yep, there's the ad. And here we go. Good. Almost done. Almost ready for this. And I got a pokey. Just a pen. End of the pen. Get back up in there we go. Perfect. Doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be consistent. There we go. Right up through that throat hole. All right, good. So there we go. So now the next thing I want to do is, as long as I've got workability with this stuff, give myself a little bit more water on it, wet the head so it's easier to work with, smooth down above the eye. I want to put more. Let's work this until it gets soft, which it's almost beyond that, but there we go. Now it's coming back. Now I'm going to build out above the eyebrows. I'm putting down a lot, but that's because I can always take away easily. And I'm basically changing only this part of the majority of the face. There we go. So, because I like the eyebrow bones the way they are, I just want them to blend up into the forehead better and smoother. There, that makes a big difference. Wow. Incredible. Amazing. So quick. Spray. I've discovered an even better way to do this. Look at that. Spray liberally with water, and it suddenly becomes very much more smoothable. Bring it only back to here. Add a little bit more right in here. Smooth it right in, and it blends right out. Look at that. The new blends right into what was already down there and makes it much more like a clay substance. Very, very cool. Spray. There we go. Yeah, because I am definitely running out of time with this stuff. All right, I already spent 30 minutes with it. A little bit less than 30. Well, we're at 30 minutes now, so. There we go. That's what I wanted. Make sure I'm at least mostly even. There we go. And I can always add to that later if I want to really refine it more, but where is this going? Outside! So I want it to be good, but doesn't need to be perfect. Right, Patrick? Right. So give him this little indentation, but that's much better. Yay. All right, cool. All right, now I'm going to add, I want to do White Walker feeling. So they have little horns that they develop for some reason because they're like little devils. I think that's what they were fashioned after. So, so I like listening to books on tape. I like it when I'm, driving and stuff. I get very much into it. I'm a very visual person, so my imagination goes really wild crazy, right? With books. When I listen to them, the imagery is very strong. The imagery is strong with this one. There we go. I'm gonna use both hands. I don't usually use both hands, but whatever. Oh, there we go, because that was super firm. But anyway, so I tried listening to, and you're gonna notice, in case you didn't see the previous episode, what is different about me using SculptCrete in this episode and the last? No gloves, right? So we'll see if I like that, because it's gonna be, now I've got it, oh, there it is. Oh, that's amazing. Work it, and suddenly the elasticity comes back to it. That's cool. Add a little water and you're good to go. But I tried listening to it on Audible and couldn't, to the Game of Thrones series of books on Audible, and I couldn't listen to more than, I tried. I really tried. The narrator, though, I couldn't deal with it. And sorry, Mr. Narrator, if you're watching this, which I doubt you're ever going to, and more power to you if you enjoyed the books on recording. I was going to say on tape. That's aging me, right? But I just couldn't deal with it because he was unable to characterize vocally. So I made one nubbin. I'm going to make another one. So I'm rolling, pointing, flattening. Yeah? They don't have to be exactly the same size. And I will refine them once I get them on. But what I want them to do is I want them to be more ridges that come this way and come to a point and then come back down. So I'm going to point the back ends, point the edge, or sharpen the up. It's kind of like fins is what I'm making. But so yeah, the Game of Thrones, there we go, looks just like a fin. I couldn't do it. Every character sounded exactly like the same guy, and the guy sounded like he was wheezing the entire time. He would literally take a breath after every like 3 words, and I could not deal with it. I just couldn't deal with it. It was so distracting, and with him breathing constantly, and you could hear him breathing the entire time. I don't want somebody to be perfect, like I can't hear you, blah blah blah, breathing. But this dude was literally breathing, gasping for breath every like 3 words. And I could not, I couldn't abide it. I tried and tried and tried because I really wanted to listen to the books when they came out, and Shawneen, my sister, had listened to the books and loved them, and she was like, oh, you gotta listen to them. Here we go. I'm gonna make them swoop up. There we go, there's one side. I love it. And it was so I have an example for you. So the conversation between a child and his mother, it was like, oh mother, and he's British, so oh mother, I love you so much. Oh Bran, I love you too. You are the life and blood of my ways. That was basically all I could hear the whole time, and I was like, nope, can't do it. I really want to listen to this, but I can't handle it. There we go, there's that. All right, let's do another one of those puppies. Okay, yeah, I was too delicate. I couldn't handle it. And I was so disappointed because I really, really, really wanted to be able to listen to it, but I just couldn't do it. It drove me freaking nuts. So, love the movies, well, they were basically, each episode was a movie. Loved the show. And we're watching the new ones. We saw the finale of the new one, and thought that was awesome. Very cool. But yeah, so love my books on tape, unless the narrator just is terrible and ruins the whole experience like he did. All right, there we go. Putting it down. I want to bring this back edge just like the other one. I want it really literally like a fin. So I'm going to push this down, and I want it to get higher, keep it sharp all the way back, but then cut back under at a point. So how am I going to do that? Let's take a little bit off, and there we go. Does this one go as far? Oops, I just dented his forehead. It almost goes as far back. Bring this in. Similar, don't have to be exactly the same. But less, so we talked about this before. If it's exactly the same on both sides, what does it look like? Synthetic. Organic is asymmetry. It's imperfect. It's not exactly the same on both sides. And that gives you a lot of freedom to be able to do that. There we go. So what am I fashioning this off of? I'm fashioning it off of, or styling it after, this one guy's brilliantly gorgeous makeup that he did for Halloween, or for whatever, but it came up in feeds for Halloween. You know, great makeup ideas. It's like, yeah, for whom? For amazing special effects people, but normal people, or, you know, regular folk like you and me. It's like, good Lord, that's super advanced. So there we go. I'm gonna make it similar on both sides, nice and wet, so that I can get a nice sharper edge to it. This one's got a thicker edge. This one's actually, there we go. Ridge it right around, give it a nice shape. And there, that's the good start. So if I want to reduce the amount of weight that I have at the front of it, what do? I can pull it toward me and remove the excess. And that works for pretty much anything. As long as it's wet enough for me not to be destroying the structure underneath. And my fingers are like sliding along it. You don't want too grippy of fingers, grippy, grabby fingers. So wet it as needed. There we go, there's the beginning. Almost looks like the old Batman. Oh no, Wolverine. Looks almost Wolverine. We'll make it not look Wolverine. So these clumps, I'm gonna do real quick. More ridges. Now that I know how to do them better, I can do them faster. I'm going to sculpt. I'm going to actually put them together on down here first, and then I will add them to the head afterwards. The front ones I really wanted to get like super good. These I've got a lot more freedom with. I don't have to be. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a point here, squidging it back, keeping this from going any further back. What it does is it makes it so that, as you can see, it makes it so that the ridge grows if I don't let it continue back. So it's kind of the way you would make a nose. If you look at a nose separately, gets thicker toward the back, and I want it to be a nice, almost like a dorsal fin, but wider, so it's wider at the base, so it looks like it's sort of growing out of the head. There we go, there's two. I'm going to do two more on the back, and these are going to be spikes. So I'm going to take it here, split it in half, do a simple spike. I'm going to do flattened spikes so they have 4 corners, curl it up, bring it to a point, bada bing bada boom, it's done. So this one, I'm going to put the spikes on the back first, let the front ones sort of relax a little bit, water on the surface where I'm putting them. Make sure that I'm straight in the middle. I want them on both sides. And I want them to look like they're growing up and out. I want to smooth them in underneath so they look like they're literally coming up and out. And I'm going to curve it gently as I go so that I don't break it or crack it. Beautifully enough, this stuff, when I've found that when using it, a little bit of extra water, it is not cracking when it dries. Hallelujah. You get a lot of cracking with clay if it's not, if you don't prep it correctly. And with this stuff, there's none of that. Here we go, get another horn for the back. Get a nice flat base. It's gonna curl up. I want it to be this shape so that the flat is here. See how that does that? And then I can refine it once it's on the head. Push it, squidge it down, blend it out. I did find with spiral head, that I saw a lot of, I didn't wet it enough so you could see the where it came from, the sort of that it was attached physically. Now painting took away a lot of that, you know, made it so that it was less obvious, but it bugged me at first because it was like, whoa, that's really obvious. So I'm taking out some of that clay because this is too much bigger. I want them to be at least similar sized. Remembering not to point. So it's much better. There you go. And this one's, there it is. That's better. Significantly more. There. Take off the very end. And there it is. Cool. Narrow this down a little bit. Pull it down onto the surface as I narrow. A little bit more shape. Push down in the front to give it that curve. Smoother curve. Bring it up and point it. There. Got two horns on the back. Right? All right, cool. They're very similar. Flatten this one a little bit like the other one is. I like that. Yeah. Cool. Now the ridges. I have two more ridges. I'm going to put one here. And this is going to be here. And this is basically going to be it. Just blend that down onto the surface. 21 minutes, all right, we're good. It's just looking at the amount of time we've been together on this episode. So I'm gonna get this real wet. I'm going to curve it. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing my fingers on the top and the bottom and I'm curving this way. So this one holds it down, this one brings it up. Curling it, giving it a little back curve in there. Now when you see these, the beauty of it is you're not going to see them both pretty much at the same time, from one side to the next. Draw it back, really blend the hell out of the edges, and smooth with all that extra water. Give it a little bit of a point, rounded point, smooth it right in, make it look like it grew there. And I like that. Now he's no longer Wolverine. Let's go on this side, wet it down, bring it right in. All right, where did you start? Yeah. You started right there. When it's similar, get that great shape to it. Gotta be careful not to overwork this stuff because it's starting to crack. It's starting to separate. So there we go. There it is. All right. Really blend it in. I'm gonna push and curl. Curling it up. Bring it down in front so it's pretty much parallel to the other one. Really grab some off the middle of it, pull it down so it's blending into the rest of the head smoothly. Oh, there we go. Now it just comes right out of it instead of looking like it was attached to it. This one's going to be a little bit different shape, different. I'm going to curve, 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 curve. Top pushes down, bottom curls it up. I'm going to give it a little, just like this one where it cuts under. I'm going to give it a little undercut. All right, stick this all back together. The water will help. There we go, otherwise that's just gonna pop right off at some point. Just bring it right up in the back. Hopefully keep these two together. There we go. When it does crack, that will be the first place that it will go because it's a super weak point now. And there we go. And that's good. There. Just want to make sure that I'm happy with the edge. There we go. we go. All, oh my God, it keeps on pulling off. Jeez. Well, if I let it dry, it'll just blend itself. There we go. Ta-da. Cool, I like, ooh, that one goes much higher. So I'm gonna push this. I do want them to be really similar at least. There. One's actually, the other one's a little bit longer, that's why it goes. Or maybe I started it further back. There we go, that's better. All right, and I'm done. So, I hope you have, oh God, I've got a little bit of SculptCrete left. What do I do with it? I know, I have an idea. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm going to do 2 more spiky spikes. He's not gonna have ears, I've decided. Or maybe he'll have pointy ears. Nah, I think he's just not gonna have ears. So I'm going to do 2 more spikes coming out, curving up. And I'm gonna split this last bit of it. I don't wanna waste any is my thing. I'm gonna do it super simples. Boop, thumb in the back, squeeze down. Wet it a little bit more, because it is really setting up. Get that bottom nice and wet. Pop it on. It'll be right below there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on here. And then I'm going to, there we go, squish it down. Turn it back and up. Blend it right in. I'm going to let this one be chunkier. Here we go. That one's there. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Get some more water. Water where I'm going to be putting it. It's going to be right underneath the end here. So squish, thumb. Whew. We're losing time here. We're losing. Let's be flat. Come on. Work with me. I'm almost done. There we go. Squish it on there. See if I can get it to actually stay. There it is. It's not wanting to. There we go. I was going to say it doesn't want to blend on because it's curing. So, what does the other side look like? It's a curved back and up. Looks like it comes right out of it. There we go. And point. There we go. All right. There. It's funky, wild, wacky, and pretty darn cool. I could play with this stuff all day, and then it would be like, and you ruined it. There we go, my friends. All right, good to see you. Good for you to see me. That's really what I should say. But I'm glad you were here. I'm glad we got to do this together. This was fun. I'm going to go up, wash my hands, and see if I can get concrete off of my hands. So we'll see how that works, right? So there's the back. And all the way around. That's pretty cool. I'm liking that. I think that is actually pretty much done. Then the painting that I will do, oh, I need to give him lips, but that's going to be easy enough. I'll just do a little teeny bit, and I'll give him lips. And then the painting that I will do is going to give him sort of this look. Yep. So I'll do a better printout. All right. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take a big breath in. Exhale. World's a better place after that every time. So have a fabulous day. Put more love out in the world. There's not enough love in the world. And we are able to do that. So take it easy on yourself. Let yourself make mistakes, learn from them, pivot, go around. Don't necessarily bust your way through. And I don't know, choose to have a great day if you can. Bye. Oh no, it won't work.